Hello and welcome to our fifth tutorial of our calculator, and like we said in the last tutorial, we are going to be working on the signs or the operators or the mathematical symbols for carrying out calculations. So let's start right away with the addition sign. So in this case, when a user clicks the addition sign, what happens? So remember, we talked about declaring variables. We need to declare variables, the placeholders for these things, right? So we're going to first go back to our app, because you can declare a variable here, but it's best you declare variables at the class level, so that those variables can be used anywhere in the private sub of your program. But if you declare a variable in the private sub only, meaning it will not be able to be used in another private sub, so it's better you declare it here. So we're going to start with declaring a variable of dim, and this variable we're going to call it first number, right? We're going to call it first number, we can even stop there, because variable you can name it anything you want. Then we declare it as that is giving the data type for it, and in this case it's going to be a decimal, because when you say integer, it will only take one or a whole number, it will not take decimal places. So we declare another variable, and this is how you declare a variable. You say dim, then with the variable name, then as the data type, right? So we say second number, I will name it second number, and in this case it's going to be as decimal still, right? Yeah, so decimal, and we have declared that variable. So we declare another variable, and we call it what are we going to call it? It's going to be dim, and let's call it we call it signs. You can call it operations, or we call it signs, for adding sign, or let's call it sign. So it's going to be as integer, because we are going to store a specific number, meaning if we are pressed on the add sign, we're going to give it a value of 1. If it is minus, a value of 2. If it is multiplication, it will store a value of 3. So it's going to be an integer. And then lastly, we declare another one which will detect it if that button was clicked on, if it was selected before the second number was saved. And in this case, we're going to call it sign selector, right? Sign selector, and we declare it as boolean, and by default it shall be at false, meaning this time it is not selected. And what a boolean does, it selects one. It's either true or false. It's either binary 1 or 0. It's either on or off, right? So this time it will detect it. It only has to be, you can't press like 2 plus times 3. You can't have two mathematical signs at the same time. That's why we're using that as a boolean. And these are the variables. It may sound a little bit complicating right now, but as you follow on, or as you follow along, you'll realize that actually it is simple. And we have another topic for variables. I hope I'll make other tutorials about variables. I hope you follow through and you get to understand how variables work. So now we are going to click on our add sign, which is the add symbol, and in this case, what is it going to be? The moment someone clicks on the add sign, right, I want the number in the text box or text, I want that number in that text box to be equal to our variable, which we call the first number. So what we are telling the computer now, that the moment someone presses that box, right, get that number on the screen and store it as what? Get the number on the screen and store it as our variable, which we declared to be first number. Then after that, actually we can say first number, we give it an equal. Actually, we had cross exchange. We can say first number, we can say first number, we paste it here. Where has it gone? We paste it here. First number is equal to text box, meaning our variable first number is equal to that number in that box. Then we shall say, because when the user clicks on it, text box dot text, it has to clear the number. The text is equal to 0. It has to clear and create another alternative for a user, then signs or sign selector has to be equal to true. Remember, by default we made it false, so now we are telling the computer that yes, now the thingy has been detected, or the sign has been clicked on, it is being activated. So in actual sense, we shall now the variable of sign, we shall give it a value of 1, right? And maybe we can put out a comment here and say, this is how to comment. You use one single quote. This is addition, right? This is addition. For us, when you're reading the code, to easily understand, this is just a comment, right? And the comment is not read or understood by the computer. It is only read and understood by you. So let's try running it and see if you have all it clear. Oh, error while trying to run the project, and it's not telling us the error. And I'm always getting these errors because I'm having them conflict with my program. But let me try to pause the video, then get back. Okay, now after me solving the recorder issue, so when you run the program and you see that we have 100 plus, then it gives us an opportunity of typing in another number. The moment you press plus, it gives us an opportunity of adding another number, right? Which is good. But in case we had not put this code here of plus, we have not put this code of text is equal to 0, meaning that number, let me comment it out so that it's not understood by the program. Now if you have our program running and we didn't put that to clear it to 0 and we press plus, the number will stay there, but however, when we're adding another number, it will just continue on that number which is there, and it will give us wrong values. That's why we need to make sure we don't forget this code here to clear and make the value in the text box or the display box back to 0, so that when someone is adding another number, they are starting from 0. They're just adding on that. So we do the same. Let me copy the code. We do the same for all the other buttons. We declared minus. We paste and we just change this value to 2, so that whenever we are working on our equal sign, it depicts and tells that okay, now they are pressed on the minus side, and this is for minus. That's a comment for you to understand better, right? This is for minus. So let me pause the video and finish all the other buttons so that I don't consume so much space. It's already 7 minutes.